Come on. Yeah.
5, 4,
I see
3,
you, baby.
2.
Get your shine on.
I think it's on the wrong thing.
Get your glow up.
Hey friends,
Uh,
I hope everyone had a great weekend and a great week as we start another blessed week here on Intellectual Radio. We had an amazing weekend working and we got a chance to celebrate 50. 50 with our friend James Augusta. It is always a great vibe to celebrate milestones with people you love. Also, happy 50th birthday to our good friend Roz. Again, we hope that everyone that's celebrating a milestone is having a great opportunity to bring in that 50 in a blessed and amazing way. The 1974 babies are showing out, I see, and I guess I'm getting ready because I'm up next. So again, 1974 babies, we represent this year with 50. And also I have to send a happy heavenly birthday to my grandmother, Mildred Watkins. Again, we are celebrating birthdays for October. And again, we are so excited to be here tonight as you get ready for Sweetest Day on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. If you want to seal the deal, sign up for Step into Seduction Strip class. That is a strip teasing class that will be held on Friday, October 18th from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Please DM Lottie Pop of Chicago or text her at 312-487-1316 so you can get your spot in the class. Join this class to guarantee you will be walking down the aisle. Lonnie Pop ain't no joke. She helped me get married 3 times. Slots are almost sold out. So again, friends, log on, DM her, and let her know that you are interested in this seductive striptease class that will be on Friday, October 18th. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tonight's topic is there a right time to marry or get married? Again, good evening, friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in to Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim on intellectualradio.com. Of course, I am your host, Kimberly Watkins Allman, and right by my side is our producer, Sumner Allman, Wifey for Lifey. Thank you for coming.
Good evening.
I am so excited to be here for this segment. What about you?
Yes, I am.
Is there a right time to marry or get married? This is our topic tonight on Crazy Conversations. I say that I'm excited about every conversation because I do get excited about all these conversations because in one way, shape, or the other, it will relate back to us in some way, shape, or form. Again, topic, is there a right time to marry or get married? And that's tonight on Crazy Conversations. But before we dive into today's topic, let us give our listeners a recap of our last 2 conversations. October 1st, should parents seek advice from their children instead of their mates? On last week, which was October 8th, how to make someone admire you, chase you, fall in love, and marry you. Today's conversation piggyback on both of those amazing conversations. Is there a right time to get married? And again, we had some major feedback that came to us from both conversations. And the feedback that we would like to share regarding that October 1st show had my inbox filled with opinions about my spouse was coming for me because I was once guilty of talking to my children first about everything before my mate. And again, Miss Kim takes full responsibilities. I take full accountability of the mistakes that I made before I chose the right type of love. So again, we're going to get into all of that tonight on Crazy Conversations. When you get in the right relationship and the both of you are willing to learn, it brings structured love back in rotation. These conversations are not about us. We just use our real life scenarios if we can relate to a particular topic. Our conversations are to help and assist others. Again, I have to stress that people need to know that it's okay to change for the right type of love. We also talked about love is being advocated by the ones you are least expected. We discussed that relationships prosper when you cling to your mate and surround yourself, or when you surround yourself within other couples that are in a committed relationship or marriage. People want the mates or they want the relationships and the mates from the past. Men are chasing the women that does not follow social media or other public influencers. They want the old school women a little bit more now. The most attractive people are at the restaurants alone, and the ones we feel are unattractive people, they're the ones that's booed up. So again, you're going to hear a little bit about that tonight on Crazy Conversations. Research is showing that good men and good women are accepting imperfections in order to find that love that works for them. Let's start this amazing conversation. Is there a right time to marry or get married? The right time to get married depends on a number of factors, including your feelings of readiness, your relationship with your partner, and also your life circumstances. As far as age, I don't feel that age is an issue. Young marriages can work if you work them. I will never discourage anyone that's young not to get married because, again, young marriages can work if you work them. Anything can work if you put in the work. So when you feel comfortable and confident in your job, in your personal life, start implementing the marriage component. And most people want to be at a certain level. They want to level up before they walk down the aisle. But again, those type of things does not matter to some people when they have found that correct love that will make them do exactly what's needed to come together for that perfect union, or almost perfect union, because I really have not seen any absolute perfect unions. As we start to get ready to seek marriage, you should also be able to have conversations with your person about important topics such as children, finances, and how you will handle conflicts. You should feel comfortable and confident not only in your job and your personal life. You should also have met important people in each other's lives, such as family, friends, co-workers, etc. Those are some of the things that you would like to know before you dive in. So question would be, how did you know it was the right time to marry? Is it okay if I ask you that question, White? How did you know it was the right time to marry? And the reason why I wanted to give you that question, because I remember you saying that you canceled a few times from marrying me. because I wasn't where you needed me to be.
No, you wasn't.
Let's talk about it.
No, you wasn't ready. When I thought that you was ready, that's when I was about to ask. That's when I was told no. Like I said, it was a couple of times.
So
It was
who told you no?
God.
Oh, okay.
You wasn't ready. You wasn't ready. Period. So
Okay,
it was.
I was
It,
about
it,
to-
it wasn't like no timeline. Wasn't none of that. It wasn't. You just. It wasn't the time.
I was about to start calling people.
But seriously though, that's why I say it's very important, you know what I'm saying, to have a prayer life. It's very important to seek counsel before you do anything, period, just because it's a serious step. When I thought that I was ready, I wasn't. Because to the point, like, it was a lot going on. You know, you was going through a lot, you know, nothing personal. It's all the way, you know what I'm saying, you was going through a lot. It's like, now, it's too much going on right now. So when it's the second time when I thought, God was like, no, she's still not ready. She still got some work to do.
You canceled twice?
A couple of times, yes.
Wow.
So it's very serious when you want to commit to a person. You really have to study them, and you really have to say how much hiccup I'm gonna take. It was too many hiccups that I wasn't gonna take that God didn't want me to allow. So I just had to
And so
have
you
patience.
canceled.
Yes, I patient. I waited. I waited my turn, and I waited the time.
So what was the deal breaker? What made you realize, okay, she ready now? What did I do to show you that I was capable of being what you needed me to be as a wife?
See, it's not what I need you to be, it's what it was meant for me. You know what I'm saying? It's what God, I prayed for a couple of things. When you pray for a person, I prayed. And so when we started going to therapy.
Okay, so when we started couples therapy.
Couples therapy. So when we started going to couples therapy, and you was consistent with it. And like I say, ain't no one perfect. And that's one thing I have to understand with you. You're not perfect. And that's what I thought that you were.
I had some situations doing therapy. You remember that, right?
You had a couple of situations doing therapy.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you had a lot of situations.
I stormed out. I was screaming. Yeah,
Yeah, you stopped blaming, said
Yes.
people like me
Oh,
more.
yes.
Yeah, you
I
just
did.
still wasn't ready.
I walked out. I sat in the car for the whole therapy session because I felt as though
You was taking side.
the therapist was taking sides and everybody was against me. So I went and stormed out and sat in the car. And I knew then, I'm like, okay, this over.
See, and you claimed it, and so that's why it was postponed because you claimed it. You said it was over,
No, I said
Yeah.
this therapy was over.
but you was upset.
I was. But
So-
it was the topics. It was the things that was getting pulled out of me to find out things that I would not repeat. You know, mistakes that I may have had in the past. I did not want to revisit those mistakes. I did not want to bring that baggage to my new, that old to the new. And so I struggled. I struggled a lot with the couples therapy.
A lot.
I was doing fine with my individual therapist, but when it came to the couple therapist and we had to put everything out on the table in front of each other, and even though you knew majority of the things, it was just the fact of I had to take accountability. And
That's okay.
and now it's okay
It's okay.
that I look back and I realize that, you know, you bring out that best in me and you want to see that best in me. So as I look back, I'm like, why did I do that? I acted a whole fool.
Yeah, because there's no perfect marriage. You want it to seem like you had a perfect family, a perfect marriage. There's no perfect anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you realize. I have to let you know there's nothing to be ashamed of. So when you stormed out, and God was like, see, I told you she wasn't ready.
See what I'm saying? That's why I ain't say nothing the whole ride home.
So
I
that's-
didn't talk for a couple
And
days.
so that's why it's very important. Like I said, it's okay to study your spouse. I studied you, and like I say, prayed a lot. At of course, everyone goes through things through relationship marriages. There's no perfect relationship, but the situation. My question was, did she ever want to forgive about it, and did she ever want to forgive them?
So I wanted to share the conversation that came in with one of the listeners, which is a 23-year-old male. And it says, I have been with my girlfriend for 2 years. She's 24. And I want to propose to her when we hit 3 years. But if I'm being honest, seeing so many people get divorced scares the dog out of me. Plus, right now, she's the breadwinner, and I'm learning to be comfortable with that because we are a team, and she never uses money against me, but I want to make sure that everything is perfect before I propose. But I also don't think there's such a thing as perfect. I'm starting a decent job soon. I'm starting a decent job soon and want to begin saving money up again because I had to totally start over financially and then make sure that we can at least afford a decent apartment or house before I propose. But even then, I'm afraid that I might not be a great mate, or I may be too immature because I'm still young and learning that we will end up with the million other failed marriages. And that's not what I want, Miss Kim. Both of us have parents who ended up in divorce, and we don't want that for ourselves. Any advice on how I can be the best mate now that I can be, so that I can be a decent spouse in the future? So how can I be a good mate so that I can become a decent spouse in the future? I need to know, is there ever a right time? Again, on Crazy Conversations. That right there took me by storm because, again, when you put everything out there, you're letting the person know where you are financially, where you are spiritually. Those things matter when you are trying to find that lifelong love because, again, it is a lifelong love. So there are several questions you have to ask yourself to determine if you're ready to get married. Values. Shared values are urgent for a decent marriage. Do your values align with your partner's? And that was one of the things that I felt that I struggled with. You know, some of my values may have been different than yours. And some of my values were different. And to move to the next component, I'm going to say the communication. The open communication is a key part of a healthy relationship and a marriage. Ask yourself, can you communicate your thoughts and feelings freely with your partner? And I feel like that's one of the things that we do very freely. But again, do we get the results that we are looking for? Go ahead.
I'm okay with it. I prefer us to open. You know me, I speak what I want. I do. I speak freely because that's me. That's being real. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm coming straight forward with it. Anything I want to ask, I'm going to ask.
Oh my God, you ask.
I do.
Yeah. Take me off the schedule. You remember that? Yeah, you say a lot. Again, one of those, the next component is trust. Trust is a critical component of a strong relationship and marriage. Do you trust your partner in all aspects of their life? Challenges. Are you emotionally prepared to face the challenges that comes with marriage? Future. Can you imagine yourself together far into the future. Did you struggle with the future part?
No,
So you
I knew what I wanted.
you knew what you wanted. Okay, well, I can't fight you on that because again, you knew what you wanted. Next component, children. Are you ready? Are you ready to take on parenthood? Are you already parents? Do you both want children? If so, how many? When and what would you like to have in place before starting a family? If you have a parenting philosophy, share it with your mate ahead of time so you all can be on the same page when you all start your family or when you all begin to blend your family. Blended families are amazing because again, we have a blended family, and again, that worked for us because we came right in communicating on how we would structure parenthood within our parenting circle. So again, what advice can you give about marrying someone with children?
Wow. Well, only advice is if you love the mother or you love the parent, you gotta love the children. That's common sense. I don't know. You have to, real talk though, if you love me, you have to love my kids. My kids come with me. So there's no other way. That's why I said you have to decide on if you want to date anyone with kids. You have to make that choice before you even start dating them.
Well, because when you were interested in dating me, even though, you know, we were friends since the age of 14, a lot was said. And then when you proposed, you were flooded with Miss Kim has too many children. She is not the right match for you. All of those kids that she had. So people needed to mind their own business. I don't even want to go into that right now. They needed to mind the business that pays them. Kids were my business in daycare and foster care. I was a fostering parent, and as we got together, I did have 7 children in the home at that time, plus extras. So again, how can you advise anyone to hang in there if she has cheaper by the dozen?
I don't know, to each his own. See, everyone might don't make decisions that I make. Like I said, I was interested in the parent. I was interested in their mom. So I had to study the mom, then I had to get to study the kids.
But marriage is a decision. When you decided that you wanted to step it up a notch from dating to marriage.
I wasn't married to kids. I was married to their mom. And once I love the mom, I'm going to love the kids.
So marriage is a decision that is based on you, your partner, and the relationship. So when it came to the children, you just knew that everything was going to be okay.
Yes. I have no complaints. No. See, that's the point. People want to start judging kids before they know them, besides because that's what kids do. They always, always judge their parent, new partner before they get to know them. It's like that's what grown-ups do. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not judging her off for kids.
So the next component that I wanted to speak on is disagreements and arguments. The way a couple fights can predict disaster or a happy home. As a couple, do you get through your arguments with a positive ending? No relationship is without arguments. A happy couple often handles their conflict vastly different from unhappy couples. At the end of the day, all that matters is that you know yourself very well and you know what type of person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Marriage is not a tool to change people. So with that being said, are you okay with how our disagreements and arguments go? Because we different when it comes to disagreements and arguments. It's like if
I
we
don't argue with you.
God, I'm so tired of arguing with myself.
You do. I don't.
And the thing of it is that with you, you say what you say,
That's it.
and the next 5 minutes you are,
you hungry?
yeah, and you know I'm hungry. But again, I'm still mad.
Not
And
me. Not me. I'm not going to bed mad. I'm not waking up
And
mad.
you give me my way most of the time, and I still be like, why she want to be my friend?
You still mad.
Why she want to be my friend?
I'm fixing your plate.
Yes.
So I put
Why
the
do
food
she
in the
want to
micro-
be? Why does she want to be my friend? And so that's the positive thing that I love, because no matter how my vibe is, you not
matching it.
Don't match my vibe. Don't match my vibe. I know. Don't match. I
I'm not.
understand. I understand. Trust me. This is what happens when you are willing to work towards that right love. See, when you have that person, it doesn't matter what kind of work you have to put in, but you put that work in.
And when you have kids.
And when you have kids,
When I have kids, that the kids look up to us the way that I treat you and the way that you treat me. So that's one thing. We are like, at the end of the day, we are role models to our kids instead of the streets. We are, so they pay attention.
and people have to be clear and aware about the needs in a relationship. Know your partner's ability to meet and fulfill your needs. You have to always remember that you are in control of your life. So with that, you have to be wise and choose wise. Another question: if you marry someone who has a business or a successful career, do you take a back seat or do you add to their business or success?
Add.
I continuously see people that had well-established businesses before marriage, and after marriage, their business light went out. And when I say the light went out, I had the chance to do research, and I also read this column about, it was called Pitfalls of Marrying an Entrepreneur. I am just blessed that I married someone that did not have the need to take over my business or the need to switch anything up. So it's crazy how people are great business owners and they marry someone that doesn't want their mate to succeed, doesn't want their mate to shine. They marry them and they dismantle the dream of their mate and they want it to fit them. And sometimes that doesn't work. And the one thing that I totally brag about is the way that you studied me, you studied my business plan, my business, and you were able to fit right in and you learned. And you said that, what did you say, what kind of house I had when you came around? What did you say, what kind of house?
It's a training house. Training.
And when you say training, what do you mean?
You train people. You study. You have to, anything that you have to learn, because like I said, I learned a lot. And one thing I loved about it, we came in together with our own business and our own careers. So we learned a lot from each other. So I learned a lot, majority really, because I had people majority doing stuff for me. But with you, I had to do hands-on. That's what I wasn't used to. I used to tell people, do this, to do that, whatever. This time, I came to your house. It was a training house. I learned how to do it myself.
You stressed me out talking about, well, I've never packed my own clothes. I pay somebody to pack my clothes. And I'm like, if you don't get that suitcase and get your stuff in that suitcase, talking about, I pay somebody to go to the cleaners. I'm like, if you don't get that, go to the cleaners. You ain't never been to the cleaners. You ain't never been in Family Dollar. Oh, come on. I'm training you.
So pretty much, like I said, it was hands-on, and like I said, it was. I learned a lot about your business, and because I was, interested, it's like you have to. Anyone you get in business with, anyone you marry, you need to know what they entrepreneurship is about. Not that I'm trying to take over yours and you're not trying to take over mine. I think it is like a good idea to get to know what I do and get to craft it, and I need to get to know what you do and craft it.
So how did it feel to marry someone with a different business than your own? Because my business seems as though it was a little bit stressful.
Different.
Different? Yeah.
It was different. Different. It was different. Like, I worked in a facility, the company that I worked for, we had a daycare in our building.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, I used to help them out, but being hands-on, like communicating, talking to kids, talking to the parents, talking to everyone. It was different. It was made me open up more.
And then the transportation.
Transportation, see, I was doing transportation. Majority, I was the driver.
Yeah.
I was the
So
driver.
that worked out.
Yes, I was the driver already, you know what I'm saying? So it's like with transportation, it was easy to do because I'm a people person.
So marrying someone with a business can feel like sometimes overwhelming, but it does require a supportive partner.
Yeah, see, I know how to separate it. See, you don't.
What do you mean?
I know how to separate business for, when we come home, like we work together, then we off. Because now we have a couple of businesses together.
Yeah.
So when we off work, I know how to come home and then work me off. You don't. You work 24 hours. And there's nothing wrong with it. But being married to an entrepreneur 3 times, yeah, you have to be patient. For real, though, you have to be understanding. You have to be let them know to switch on to switch off. But you make sure you do your switch on off on your own.
So with us, we shared the passion together with business. So with our shared passion, it created a deeper connection for us. And we definitely have some interesting conversations we could share on that. But you found ways to get involved to enhance the business. And that was, it's still top tier for me, because just because I did the same business for 29 years does not mean I did everything correctly, appropriately. So I was happy that you came along to redirect some things and to help me adjust some things. I had certain situations where I was set in my ways, or just because it worked for me in the 90s, it'll work for me now. So deciding to get married is one of the most important decisions a couple will make together. Thinking of getting married, there are lots of great reasons to tie the knot. You must think about the key factors that it takes for that lifelong commitment. And again, a lot of people do not focus on that lifelong commitment. Again, I had jotted down some things that I definitely thought could be helpful. But again, as I go back to the letter, did you want to add anything to let this 23-year-old male know about, is there a right time? And he wants to do this by the 3rd year, and he's already on the 2nd year. So he's preparing to enter this commitment, this lifelong commitment. Is it any advice you would like to give to that listener that is ready to start preparing for that lifelong commitment?
Be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient. It's gonna come. I promise you. He didn't even have to plan it. Like, I didn't even have to plan mine. I knew that day. I caught everybody off guard.
Well, you canceled 3 times. So.
Yeah, but I canceled. It did happen. But when it happened, it caught everyone off guard, and I called everyone on that day. I didn't plan no. I'm having an engagement, whatever. I didn't do none of that. See, that's what I'm saying. Everyone is different, depending on your relationship. So mine wasn't planned. So he said there's no timeline of proposal or getting married. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Mine that day about 12 o'clock. I started calling people. It was on your birthday.
And with him saying that he did not, he said that she's the breadwinner and he's learning to be comfortable with that.
That's good.
That
That's
I thought
good.
that was amazing
That's good.
because, again, here it is, a male
Take accountability.
that is letting the world know that his significant other is the breadwinner.
It's okay.
And they still have a good relationship. And I feel as though a lot of people miss out on that love because they're concerned about the finances that their mate has, what they're making, what they're not making. And with that, I feel that a lot of people are missing out on an opportunity to find that lifelong love. So again, as you know, Sweetest Day is this weekend. And you already know this is a major weekend to talk about marriage and for people, for couples to even become engaged. It definitely could be the right time to marry if some of these things that I wrote down are considered in your lifelong commitment to this person. So I wrote that, and this comes from me, Miss Kim, so please let me do me. And again, you may not agree, but what I had to say is that you know that it's time to get married. If you can imagine yourself together far into the future, if you only think of this person when it comes to your future and your future plans, that's a step to know that that's the person. You share the same basic values. Not every value, but the basics are shared and agreed upon. That's another one for me. And we both feel the same way about having children or raising a blended family. I think that the communication that we had to create our own family and to also blend our family, it worked out really well. So I also knew that I want to marry the person that absolutely brings out the best in me and that we can bring out that greatness in each other. And that was a selling tool for me to know that this is the person. So I knew that you were the person, we were the couple because of the amount of respect and the amount of appreciation that we both showed each other coming into something new. And it was a lot of things that needed full respect, full appreciation, good communication, and we were able to meet those needs of each other. And the one thing that was amazing was that our communication with each other, it did not start out to be 100%, but as we worked throughout therapy, as we studied each other, as we learned each other, it became more believable to me that this really is what I need in my life. And another thing that we had that helped us is that we always had that communication component on finances and careers. You know, we knew exactly where each other were, where we wanted to go, where we wanted to be, and did we want to stay in a certain situation, or how much did we want to level up. Those were things that were discussed before we decided to head down the aisle 3 times. 3 times? Yeah, that was a lot. And now one question that you can find out, that you can ask yourself, do you trust each other with money? Will you be comfortable sharing a checking account and credit cards with this person? Had that ever crossed your mind? Can I trust her? Can I trust Miss Kim with my money?
No, I'm just going to cut you off. I'm just going to give you an allowance a day on a credit card. It's
But
just
you
a
trust
limit.
me with your money.
Of course.
Okay. Because all you do is send it. I like that. Oh, ain't nothing. Oh, that, to hear that Zelle beat, baby, that's a whole different type of intimacy. Okay, it's crazy conversations. So, but some people feel as though that they can't trust their mate with a checking account or their credit cards. Everything is being hid in their wallet. Some people leave their wallets in the car.
That's no marriage.
Thank you. Thank you. Because again, at some point, you all will have to reach a happy medium on careers and finances. So again, coming together and having that conversation before you head down the aisle, it really does matter. And I do feel good that you trusted me to handle things for not only you, but for our household. And that matters. You know, we both are able to step up and do what's needed to have a full functioning household. Even you have already proved that even without me, it'll still be handled. So with that being said, I have no worries. You know, I have no worries. And one of the components that came with the career, I had the opportunity to not work as hard. So that right there, like I said, that's on the line of that high intimacy where you don't have to work as hard. And I promise you, that is a whole nother type of intimacy when your mate, when your spouse say, you know, just chill, take a month off. I got this. You have no worries. You have no concerns. Let me show you what I'm capable of doing to have our household continue to run and fully function if both of us are working or not. Those type of things are major. So with that, the home and the family life is another component. You know, letting your mate know how you feel about each other's family and friends, because they will be a part of your life after marriage. So letting your mate know about how you want things at home and about your family life, that was a good component for us because, again, we both had large families and we had to blend these families. And again, we were able to get to know each other's family in a different type of way. And when I say a different type of way, it's always a different type of way when it's a potential wife opposed to just someone I'm dating. When you let the family know, no, this is going to be my forever. Oh no, I'm marrying her. So that changes the game. That changes the game with our family, with our friends, so on and so forth. So again, did you see any issues with that as we blended families, blended homes?
No,
It was no
no
problem.
issues.
So I feel that a big plus when it's time to consider, when you feel that it's the right time to get married, I think that every couple that's considering marriage should go through counseling with a marriage counselor or a pastor. God wants to give us the desires of our heart, but that is only possible if our desires matches his. So with that, you definitely have to address current and potential future situations in those counseling sessions. And even though I struggled during counseling sessions, I would not have it any other way. It was hard to break away from the baggage, to break away from some of the trauma, some of the drama that you probably was used to, I probably was used to within a courtship, within a marriage. So having that counseling and someone to guide us in the right direction so that all that unwanted baggage, drama, and trauma would not trickle down to our marriage was such a good thing. Could you say a little bit about that with the counseling? How did the counseling affect you?
Well, it helped a lot. It's good to have couple, and also it's good to have separate therapy. Just because of so whatever you talk through your couple therapy, you could go to your separate therapist and talk to them about it to see what would you upset about. Did you get upset about it? But I think it's very helpful. I promise you, it's very helpful. You have to be open. You have to be honest, because once again, this is the therapist. They don't know.
So during the therapy sessions, were there any moments that you felt like, nah, I'm gonna step back?
No,
So all of that,
I didn't run away.
you didn't.
No.
You didn't. And was it any moments that you felt like stepping back?
No.
Was it any moments that you felt like, wait, this is way too much?
See, that's the problem. I don't run away from problems. It take a person just to step up, just to say this and say that to the therapist. So me running away, say, whoa, I'm gonna let you go back in the closet. I'm gonna let you put that wall back up. Some more, I sit there and I take it. Each one of our walls will be coming down. So that's why every time I have therapists, it wasn't to hurt nobody's feelings. It would just be open and honest, because at the end of the day, you need help and you want other advice. So that's what I was seeking.
But some of those things some things you did not find out until therapy. Some of those things that we found out about each other, we did not find out until that couples therapy, because we were told, we were given assignments and different things like that. So some things were not exposed until that therapy session.
It was half and half. Yes, you're right. Because if we wasn't doing it, other people was doing it.
Right.
But doing a therapy session, yeah, well, a lot was exposed. But like I said, I'm going to say it was 50-50.
Well, I didn't think that it was fair that things were exposed about my life. Like that would change your mind. Like nobody had anything else to say other than
it was about faithfulness and loyalty, to see if I was loyal to you. So we both were being tested. We don't realize we were being tested. It's all about loyalty. Am I really loyal to her? Am I going to believe what they say? Or I'm going to take it home? You know
they couldn't say nothing else other than Miss Kim had a lot of kids. It was no secret. I was
whatever it was,
a dedicated foster parent. I worked with children through child care. If I did have extra children, I just did not understand why was it so important to so many on the outside. But again, we're going to get back into marriage is not only a commitment. It is the problem. It's the promise to remain with that other person for the remainder of your life. No matter whether your spouse is rich, poor, healthy, sick, overweight, underweight, or boring. That is your mate for life. That is hands down your lifelong relationship. A good marriage should endure through every circumstance, including fighting, anger, devastation, disaster, depression, bitterness, addiction, loneliness, and previous relationships. The Bible tells us that through God, all things are possible. Luke 18:27. And this is and includes marriage. So with that, people have to know that the right time is within them when they should ask. Don't base your decision on other people to dictate when you should get married to the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because again, if we would have waited or listened to some of the things that came back to us about why we should not get married, then we may not have been sitting here tonight. But again, we put that faith in God. We put that faith in each other, and we moved forward towards our happy ever after. And again, I could not have made a better choice as far as my lifelong partner. I feel as though one of the things that is amazing with our union is that we did focus on learning each other, and learning each other came with work. We did not do 3 months of counseling. We did a full year, over a year. And after the marriage, we still did post-marital counseling. And again, when I say that that worked out so amazing for us, and again, we still have our counselors and we still attend and commit ourselves to counseling events so that we can not only enhance our bond, but we can help others enhance their bond. Because again, people look at us and be like, oh, they so fake, they so this, they so that. They do not know that our house is filled with so much love and so much laughter that the average person probably couldn't relate because they are filled with drama and trauma and things that they have not been able to address or let go in order to move into a committed relationship or even a marriage. And that again is the reason why we have to be so selective in who we communicate with about marriage or about our commitment to not only God, but to each other. So again, only thing that we can say is that you know when you're ready to make that commitment to God, to make that commitment to your partner. We appreciate everyone that poured into our union because again, it made it such an amazing union. Did you want to say, can you say anything about the individuals that what we had poured into us to make us better?
It was just positivity.
So we separated a lot of negativity.
Yeah, it was positivity. We start listening to each other. I started paying attention more and I started listening. And once again, I had to start taking as well, sheer human being. But positivity, I was only taking their positivity. That's all what I wanted.
And the one thing that you brought to our committed relationship was you felt as though every single day we needed to pray with each other. And I felt like that spiritual component was so major.
Every morning, every night.
So with that, I felt as though my spiritual level may not have been equal to yours when we were dating. But as we grew and as our love grew, I felt as though, okay, I'm learning even the things that I may have not picked up from my pastor or I may not picked up from my congregation. I did pick it up from my mate. And that component of praying together every day was definitely a plus. And I appreciate you bringing that to the table when you were ready to choose me as your partner for life. That was a wonderful thing to bring. So we have shared some of our components of, is it a right time to get married? When is the right time? We have shared our opinions to our listeners. And again, we appreciate everyone that had a comment, feedback during the month of October as we discussed relationships, as we discussed love. And next week on Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim, can a marriage or relationship without the approval of your parents, family, or children work? That is the conversation next week on Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the station that feeds your brain, intellectualradio.com. Stay tuned. Our friend is in the building. They are here. Stay tuned to Simeon Henderson and the Fly Guy. They're up next on intellectualradio.com. Good night, friends.
One time. For the babies on the south side, the east side, the west side, the north side. Chi-town.
Your kids move so much.
Miss Rhonda, I'll be thinking about this song at home.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I'm like, what is that song? Because I be thinking about it at home.